for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Let us pray for peace in our land. Keep our hearts from sorrows and pain. Bless us all with joy and hope. Love and care for each one in this world. Love and care for each one in this world.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Blossom of Wisdom. Tonight will be our 17th sessions. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Tonight, we are very honored to have welcome back Sister Siew Ching, our active Chiji volunteer, to share with us part 2 of this wonderful book called The Steady Heart and Steady Practice. So, Sister Siew Ching, are you ready? I can't wait to hear more stories.
Cảm ơn sister.
Cảm ơn.
Let me share this. Okay, can see
Yes.
Cảm ơn. Sisters, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and thank you for this chance to share again. Cảm ơn Sister Sherilyn and Sister Suling for this opportunity. Today, I'll be sharing part 2 from this book, A Steady Heart and Steady Practice. As Master said, in the Diamond Sutra, it states that the Tathagata protects and instructs all bodhisattvas with kindness. So with this book, A Steady Heart and Steady Practice, there are many stories for living a good life written by Master Cheng Yen, hoping to give us her earnest blessings and words of wisdom. As shared earlier on, there are 269 stories in these 271 pages of books. Even after tonight's sharing, imagine I could only share a total of, I think, around 8 stories. There are still many yet to be shared. Just like these stories between Venerable Ananda and Buddha. Venerable Ananda asked Buddha about, okay, they were discussing, I think Buddha was asking, ask the monastic whether there are more leaves in Buddha's hand or more leaves in the forest. Of course, we know there are more leaves in the forest. It's just like the grain that Buddha, I think, and Venerable Ananda shared about the grains of sands in Buddha's fingertips compared to the sands in the Ganges River. I think such is the state. There are so many more stories in the book compared to what I could share, but I'm still hoping that everyone could be inspired and could buy this book and read it because there are truly a lot of wisdom. I'm very grateful to have this chance to share because by sharing, I recall back the happy moments when I started reading the book. Okay, the first story that I wish to share with brothers and sisters tonight is about the topic is using loving kindness and compassion to employ our altruistic potential. Masters talk about these stories of, I must say that there is this Taoist saying that left a deep impression on Master, which says the path that can be taught is not the universal and eternal path. The name that can be named is not the universal and eternal name. I've read this expression over and over, and it often surfaces in my mind. That's what Master said. This is just like the Buddhist saying, things are beyond the reach of language. This means that the words we speak are often incapable of expressing the principles within our minds. The path is something we must simply follow. The true principles are things that we must comprehend for ourselves. That's what Master said. Listen, contemplate, 闻思, and practice. If we are not able to experience these principles for ourselves, this proves the saying, the path that can only be taught is not the universal and eternal path. Actually, it's very deep. Let's contemplate on that. So Master shared about this story about a real story about Tzu commissioner whose father passed away. After the father passing, several commissioners went together to chant for her father. It just so happened that on the way there, they saw a car accident. The volunteers that are supposed to go to do chanting for the father passing, for one of the volunteers' father, they saw this car accident. From far away, they saw that a tall semi-truck had hit a mother riding a bicycle with a small child on the back. There were a lot of people, by then there were a lot of people at the side of the road yelling in shock, but no one dared to go over to help. The woman was beneath the wheel, crying out in pain, and there was no way to pull her out. A traffic officer came over and saw the woman, but there was nothing he could do to help. Imagine the children pinning under this truck with the mother. So one of the commissioners quickly and she courageously took charge and rushed out to hold the injured mother's hand. The mother kept looking for her child because the child was behind her in the bicycle. So imagine when this happened, the child was in a very bad condition. The mother kept looking for her child, but when the commissioners looked back, she saw that this pool of blood and the brain matter beneath the wheels, the child's head was already crushed. Quickly, she blocked the woman's field of vision and comforted her, saying, this volunteer is very wise. She knows that the mother definitely cannot bear, because for us seeing the child's brain already out of her original head. So that's what we cannot, the commissioner told the mother, we cannot hold the child back now that he has departed. It is like Master often says, the affinity between a mother and a child is like a play. When his script has ended, he must leave the stage. He cannot be with you now. Let us chant the Buddha's name for him right away, so he may go off with the Buddhas. That's what the commissioner courageously told the mother. There is a Buddhist saying, use loving kindness to employ compassion. When the commissioner saw this situation, she was able to quickly spring into action. This is the meaning of employing compassion. She used the loving kindness from the bottom of her heart to care for this mother. Besides helping to alleviate pain, she was also doing her best to protect her peace of mind, keeping the onlookers from bothering her with their words and asking the woman to chant the Buddha's name. After this happened, many people praised the commissioners who bravely saved the woman's life, the mother's life. Yet they humbly said the commissioner said it was nothing. Master always teaches us to make full use of our potentials for goodness, so we were able to use this opportunity to do something good for someone. But if simply having innate goodness of any use, everyone intrinsically has Buddha nature and love in our heart. But if we only have love but do not make use of this altruistic potential, what good are they? So we must truly put our potential for goodness to use. The woman who was helped by the Tzu commissioners was immediately sent to hospital. After the matter was settled, the commissioners continued on with their original journey to chant for the other commissioner father who had passed away. This, Master said, is the true path. This path is a road for us to follow. We need to put the principles into practice in order to truly comprehend that. So let's contemplate on that. This is beyond words. The teachings is beyond words. The second story is about the robbery of a Tzu commissioner. This can be found in page 76. Master said, we engage in spiritual practice to end afflictions so that they do not continue on. When afflictions cease, blessings and virtues will naturally be created. When afflictions cease, Master said, blessings and virtues will naturally be created. If we interact with others with a calm and tranquil state of mind, loving and protecting everyone we encounter, we will cultivate blessed affinities for ourselves. Blessed affinities are attained through serving others with great love. This is what it means to have unconditional loving kindness. It means that we should constantly bringing joy to others like a refreshing spring breeze. By doing so, we are accumulating the causes and conditions of blessings and virtues. If we have the skill of insights, we will be able to give rise to wisdom through insights and become dignified with wisdom and virtue. Many afflictions and much negative karma are created because we lack tranquility and insights. Conversely, having tranquility and insights results in the accumulations of many blessings and virtues. Master said, the tranquility refers to reminding oneself to constantly be vigilant, while insights means employing our altruistic potentials to serve others. When we remind ourselves to be vigilant, we will not create more karma. Being observant of our surroundings will help us employ our altruistic potentials. Okay, Master shared this story, another real story about our Tzu commissioner, who always spent her days out of the house. Normally, she couldn't be at house, she'll be out doing Tzu activities, recycling or home visits. Then one day she happened to feel exhausted, so she returned home at noon to rest. This is very rare because normally she'll be outside doing Tzu work. Suddenly, she felt someone grab her by the throat. The commissioner struggled with all her might. When she opened her eyes, she saw a young man. Although she was terrified, she maintained her composure and called out, Amitofo, Buddha, Amitofo, Buddha. The young man said, if you call out again, I will choke you to death. The commissioner quickly calmed down and silently chanted, Guan Yi Pusa, Guan Yi Pusa. The young man said, where is the money? Tell me the truth and I will not hurt you. So this commissioner said, there is a purse on top of the cabinet. I just made charity donation, so left Taiwan dollar 150. If you want jewelry, I'm wearing whatever I own. Just take it, it's fine. She also said, I'm a Tzu commissioner. If you are having trouble, just tell me. I'm sure you're having trouble right now. The young man, who was about 20 years old, when he heard this commissioner says that, he fell to his knees. The commissioner was shocked and thought, this young man's conscience is resurfacing. So she continued to comfort him. The young man said, I have wronged you. Actually, I'm really in deep trouble. If you loan these things to me, I will definitely pay you back. The commissioner helped the young man out and said, you don't have to pay me. There is no need. If you have trouble, just come and see me. I will help you. She opened the front door and let him out. Because of these commissioner blessings, virtues, and wisdom, what might have been a disaster becomes a harmless situation. This is a fine example of developing tranquility and insight. That was story 2. Now, let's move on to story 3 about Lao Tzu. So this book, we can see Master not only shared stories about Tzu volunteers, but also of a lot of other eminent Dharma Master with wise people from the past. One of the ancient sages, Lao Tzu, is considered among the greatest philosophers. His philosophy came from the realization he attained from his life in a chaotic world. Through his daily encounter with others, Lao Tzu was always learning from them. That time, there was a man named Shi Chengji who thought of himself to be profoundly learned. He often heard people praising Lao Tzu, so he wondered, is there really someone wiser or more intelligent than me? Why does everyone seem to think so highly of Lao Tzu? So he thought, let me go and visit this Lao Tzu. So he went to Lao Tzu's house, and he saw Lao Tzu, and he said to Lao Tzu, I often heard people refer to you as a man of great wisdom. This is why I have come to see you. However, what I've heard and what I am saying are clearly at odds. Walking into your house is like entering a rat hole. Look at how disorderly the house is. You clearly have no understanding on how to manage your living space. I have traveled a long way to come here, only to find that you are a worthless person. So he scolded Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu listens without the slightest reaction. After the visitor has finished criticizing him, he had turned and left. However, throughout that day, Shi Chengji continued to think back on their meeting and felt that their encounter was very strange. He had belittled Lao Tzu and called this man, whom everyone else called a sage, yet he called him as a brat. And yet Lao Tzu has not said a word in response. So this Shi Chengji thought he ought to feel victorious. But why did he feel defeated? How could this be? And early next morning, he went to visit Lao Tzu again. So this Lao Tzu expression was just as it had been the previous day, free of anger and judgment. Shi Chengji sat before Lao Tzu and asked, yesterday I spoke without respect and yet you are not angry. I thought I had bested you and yet my heart felt a great loss. What does this mean? Those who truly grasp the true principles of life treat all things equally, whether cows, horses, dogs, cats, or even rats. Are they really different from humans? So no matter what you compare me to, I do not take it as an insult because all living beings are equal. That's what Lao Tzu said. So Shi Chengji listened and felt a sudden awakening. He immediately set his chair to the side, not daring to sit at an equal level with Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, he thought, was far too magnificent, and he suddenly felt so inferior and immature. Shi Chengji asked, how can one truly understand the true principle? Lao Tzu responded, yesterday you arrived with a condescending mindset and a haughty look. This shows that you are impetus. You must understand that for those who believe they are always correct, those who regard others with disdain, and those who love to argue, their minds will never be at ease. Everyone has a pure intrinsic nature. However, when our habitual tendencies arise, we are prone to come into conflicts with others. Thus, we actually rob ourselves of our pure nature. If we can restore our intrinsic nature, then we will see horses, cows, monkeys, dogs, cats, and rats, and so on as equal. As such, once we can abandon the idea of ourself, this small self, then we can enter into total harmony with nature, seeing everyone in equality. That's what Lao Tzu said. True. Okay, let's move on to the next story, the fourth story. I really enjoy when I read that Lao Tzu story. I was thinking, goodness, really, that's what we can see. A person with tranquility and calmness, of course, great wisdom is how they look at things at life. Okay, the next story about eliminating the flames of afflictions. Master said, Tzu is inclusive of all faith, and leaders of different religions often come to see masters. So one day, there's these two Catholic cleric members came to see Master. They expressed great admiration of Tzu and wanted to know more about how Master lead these harmonious organizations and maintain the good image. With so many things to do and so many people coming to see you, don't you become annoyed? What skill do you use to handle this? Master told them, I do not have any particular skill. I'm just an ordinary person. To say I have no afflictions would be a lie. but I'm different from others in that affliction seems to only stay in my mind very briefly. What allows me to quickly let go of afflictions? Joy and gratitude. Only with a joyful mind and a grateful heart will we be able to have the strength to quickly let go of our afflictions. If we can eliminate our afflictions and calm our minds so that we can think clearly, we will not become confused no matter what anyone says to us, including scolding us, just like the story earlier. The afflictions of an average person will accumulate over a long period of time, becoming heavier and heavier. If the state of the person's mind is covered in a layer of haze, its clarity will reduce. Each layer of afflictions takes away a degree of clarity. Thus, our wisdom is like a mirror. If we take the time to wipe the mirror frequently, it will become clear and bright, reflecting things as they are, not even the least bit hazy. So Master said, we must do our best to prevent afflictions from remaining in our minds. Once afflictions comes, we must eliminate them with joy and gratitude. Remember, Master said, joy and gratitude. So in this way, the mirror of our mind will be clear. Master said, Tzu Chi is what Master most enjoy dedicating time to. Tzu Chi 4 missions needs many people to participate in them. Yet, when there are so many people, Master sometimes cannot help but worry. For example, Master sometimes will nag everyone to drive slowly, wear a tight helmet, buckle seat belts, the safety of the commission of the volunteers. But this worry comes from concern. It's not an affliction. When we hold on to things in our mind that we continually give rise to thoughts of greed, anger, confusion, arrogance, and doubts, these are the afflictions. Love is what causes people to worry, while afflictions are full of hate, enmity, and complaint. So we must not have afflictions. If we do, then we must use this power of gratitude to push them away. Just as the sunlight breaks through the clouds, our mind must remain in constant tranquility. If our mind are tranquil, we will have the brightness of wisdom and will not fear failure in life. So Master said we must quickly cultivate joy and gratitude and use them to eliminate afflictions. These stories are all intended to help us learn to develop a steady heart that does not allow time to pass in vain, as well as steady practice of the bodhisattva path. With these tools, we can lead a pure, good life. Now let us see how Master practices such. Okay, maybe listens to this Wisdom at Dawn on 2nd September 2020. Okay, this one is shared by Abode Master. She said Abode Master said the 6 words given by Grandmaster In Sun, and we can see the challenges faced by Master and see how Master sees that one thought, that insistence for Buddhism for sentient beings and lasted until today. Okay, from minute, maybe due to time, I'll just go straight to minute.
天天无不都在感恩中啊！最近因为呢，不可否认的自然法则，老病缠身啊，这说话气拉不上来，要说一句话要很辛苦。很辛苦，还不成声，声无成声啦。所以呢，就把这个几天来曾以暂停啦。不过呢，没有休息，天天跟着大家在分享，还要更认真的 要把握生命的价值，我才越是感觉到了生命的分秒都不能让它空过，所以话要说得更大声，还要呢讲得要更分明。天天我都说，我都把他呢每一天呢有机会说话，我就把它当成了语言为言呐，总是呢在叮咛，在交代。每一次有机会说话，我都要讲清楚、说明白，当作呢最后的一天的讲话，这叫做为言。佛陀在世啊，这为告经啦，就是这样完成的啦。我都把它呢每一。
Thank you to Masters for reminding us. Such is Masters' great dedication on this path. And in fact, Master is doing it like her last day from then until today. Master is still very much dedicated on this path. Very steady practice, serving as a role model. So our choice for this life, whether to be a drop of morning dew or this precious pearl. We know that Master said our lives are like drops of, if it's like morning dew, then it will quickly evaporate and disappear. But yet, if we can make fully the true good use from our life, then it will be as valuable as precious life. That's why Master asks us to take inventory of our life. And the hand that we can see, it belongs to the recycling volunteers. These are the people that Master always praises. They are truly our great exemplary role model. In fact, for myself also, I keep reminding self. And just now, the tips the Master gives to have the joy and gratitude in life. That's how we can overcome the challenges in life. Okay, before I end the session, I'm very grateful to brothers and sisters for joining, and let us enjoy choose this video bring to all the brothers and sisters. Hope you all enjoy it as much as I do.
在河川，河水奔流向海洋，海水升华像云端，又化成雨水还给了土壤。关于如此的运转，生命不断的循 生命不断的循环。你我从来不曾有，天地万物都应该分享。感谢你给我一片天空，给我温暖的手，无私无求，陪我追逐一个梦，让我看见生命真心感动。我只能给你一生问候，给你一个笑容。你们付出，让我体会真实的富有。我愿放下渺小的自己，给你。
感恩 brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen for listening. I must say like the song, 感恩 everyone for accompanying me today and give me this opportunity to learn from this book. Okay, maybe over to Sister Shirley before we go to next session.
Yes.
Okay, 感恩
Thank you, Sister Siew Ching. Thank you for giving us such a wonderful insight of these books. Indeed, I'm quite touched with all the story you just shared, especially whether to choose to be a morning dew or the precious pearl. Yeah, I think Sangren also, Master Cheng Yen also said many times before, there is no one in this world I don't love, and there's no one in this love I don't forgive. I think it's truly inspired, whatever she have done for this world to us. Yeah. So thank you. Steady heart and steady practice. So nothing is difficult if you set a realistic goal, take a baby step each day, a baby steps to advance steadily. Everything we want to do is achievable. Yes, I always believe that. So thank you, Sister Siew Ching, once again for sharing two times in a row. I can't wait to have more of your sharing in this year or even next year. Thank you, 感恩哦，师姐. So in 2 weeks' time, we have Dr. Carmen Long. She's going to share with us this book called 真实之路. It's in Chinese. Sister Carmen, Dr. Carmen actually is our TIMA, the Chiji International Medical Association active team member and a volunteer. She's going to bring us this book in Chinese, talk about 真实之路. I hope whoever can tune in, please, or there will be also a YouTube go live. Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will have a Q&A after this recording stop. Yeah. Please stay back if there's any question you want to ask Sister Siew Ching. 感恩 everybody. 感恩 for tuning in.
感恩 so much, Sister Sherilyn. 感恩 so much, Sister Siew Ching.
Sister Stephanie,
And it's really
would you
wonderful
like to
because
ask?